Welcome back to another episode of Born Again Bow Hunting Podcast.
Shoo-wee!
That is
That's for Matt.
definitely weaker than what Matt would do.
Yeah,
He'd be a little bit disappointed.
He can be disappointed. That's fine.
Obviously, Matt is not here on this episode. He had some family sickness that he had to take care of, so that's why he's just not sitting in on this one. But
yeah, this is probably the first one in quite a while he hasn't been on.
Yeah, but King Corn is here. Brenner.
Corn, hello.
And we got Latitude on with us, so we're gonna talk about some products, when to use the product, kind of what they were designed for. So we're looking forward to that.
Yeah, seriously.
They released some killer stuff here at ATA, and one thing I appreciate is that's what ATA is for, right? Product release stuff. There's been a handful of companies that have released stuff since ATA. And ATA is trying to build back up, it seems like, and they're doing a good job with introducing the Rushmore Rumble back in there and just getting more people to go to that. I haven't been there where it's been open to the general public. Maybe you can, negatives, positives to that. But I think they're trying to do that. But then when these companies in the archery world they want to release stuff on their own time and stuff, it doesn't help anything because the hype is not there. So I don't know if they release it because the hype is there and it gets lost in everything else or kind of what, but man, it's cool to see a bunch of products come out during ATA, I guess. Yeah.
So we have Cory on, and so you're going to have to tell us, like, do you wear a bunch of hats at Latitude or, you seem like a busy man.
Yeah, I think kind of everybody at Latitude wears a bunch of hats, and that's kind of the beauty of it. My official role is the marketing director. So my day-to-day is it's that, overseeing the marketing strategy, making sure the ads are running, making sure the campaigns are playing, making sure relationships with influencers are good and products moving, retailers, making sure we're doing our job there, and catalogs, magazines, you name it. So we got fortunately an awesome marketing team, work with some great guys there, get to really, really enjoy that. I don't design any product. I like to give my opinion on product. And I think that is honestly one of the beauties of Latitude too, is kind of everybody that's involved with the business in one way, shape, or another is just a bow hunter, or stems from that background. And I think that's kind of what molded the culture there, and definitely makes it feel like a little family. So one hat, I guess, but try to wear a few.
Yeah. Well, and I think too, like what you touched on, everybody at the company is a bow hunter, and that kind of shows in the product, just with multi-use functions of stuff, and it's legit functions too. It's not just like the thing that came to my mind was your gear strap and your bow hanger. Like that is the best bow hanger I've ever used, and the gear strap where you already have it coming down and you can attach your backpack right on there. You're not dealing with multiple ropes or straps or anything like that. Like something as simple as what that is, and I don't mean to make that sound simple, but like it's just well thought out. Yeah,
it's convenient.
Yeah, super convenient.
Yeah, definitely.
That is the advantage of the guys that are designing it. Jake and Kev, they've done a phenomenal job overseeing that. Matt Tompkins is heavily involved now. He does a great job. And then a lot of the guys giving opinions into those designs, everybody involved there, is just kind of like you guys, they're obsessed with running and gunning, mobile hunting, public land, private land, have been doing it for a little while. And that's kind of what is the backbone of Latitude's the backbone of the design process, and trying to actually answer problems that we're running into ourselves out in the field, I think that's, not to go off the deep end, I think it's what's kind of made Latitude. I think there's a lot of ways, there's a lot of companies out here that don't design their own products. Some of them, send a lot of designs out of house, and those can turn out really well, especially if they're guided the right way and you work with the right team. And but I think at the end of the day, the product line being the backbone that it's made by guys that are actually using it is extremely important,
Yeah, that was definitely something that really sparked us was when we first put our hands on some Latitude stuff. It was like everything had so much depth to it. Like it wasn't just this is one piece of gear that has one function. everything had multiple functions. Everything you could use it for this and that, and we were really blown away just by the products themselves. Like, wow, you can tell when things are really thought through and they've been used 100,000 times before it even comes to market. And that's one big thing that we noticed about you guys. It was like, that's pretty slick. Yeah. That works a lot better than a lot of this other stuff.
Yeah.
But it was cool that you could tell that the heart was there, the thought was there. And it's a big difference company-wise for sure.
Yeah, no, appreciate that. I'll definitely let the guys know on that one. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why don't, before we get into the new products and uses and stuff like that, why don't you give a little bit of background on yourself in case nobody's ever heard of who you are, what you do, that type of stuff, and then I guess we can get into some gear.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Cory Godar from Ohio, born and raised. Spent my whole life here, never left, unfortunately, but fortunately. A lot of good deer hunting here. Been deer hunting for a while, kind of had a pretty traditional city life, I would call it. Grew up in the suburbs. Got into deer hunting a little later than most, like high school time. My uncle had been doing hunting his whole life, but my dad didn't do a lot of it. He did some of it, so I'd been exposed to it. But in high school, I really got to start going out with my uncle, doing a ton of it on my own, running and gunning. Um, you know, Fell in love with it like anyone. Got bit by the bug, went off the deep end. Went all in on the mobile stuff. Had my own saddle sewn by a seamstress here, and started running and gunning, doing all that. Watching all the YouTube videos, reading all the forums. At the time, I was doing marketing for a travel company and had started doing a lot of content. Did some YouTube myself. Had a hunting channel and just was filming hunts because I love to do it. Met Alex through that. He found them, reached out. Really right when they started Latitude, and started sending me some stuff, and just ran it and kind of was watching the company evolve, from literally the three of them in their basement. Alex, Jake, and Kev, started out of Michigan and just were doing it from their basement as they were working their 9 to 5s. And, they all have extremely strong suits in different areas of the business. And they come from very, very strong business backgrounds, engineering backgrounds. And the one piece they didn't really have was marketing, and that's what I was doing. And so I kind of picked up on that, and they were doing a lot of marketing. So I just kind of was feeding Alex input, as we're going, and we just kind of built a relationship. And then, one day he texted me, said, "Hey, we're gonna jump ship on our jobs and go all in on this. Do you want to come work with us?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah, let's figure this out." So,
Yeah.
Put me through an interview process, did that whole nine. Basically went all in, and the four of us quit our jobs and started going full bore at it. So, got involved that way, but still the beauty of it just was, like now work was like really fun, like all we're talking about is mobile hunting gear, still a lot of marketing. And I think a lot of people don't see all that stuff behind the scenes that, yeah, you're working in a hunting company, but we're still running a business, we still got to look at Excel and do all the not so fun stuff. But yeah, it worked. And, so, grew with that. And fortunately through that, I've got to do a lot of bow hunting, so at the time, Grit, our web series, was kind of just a concept, but that was like one of the first things Alex and I discussed, like, how do we kind of showcase the brand? Literally was the question. And, kind of, we decided on this web series thing. We went out to Nebraska, which was D-Rock's literally first day on the job. He just up and left and went to Nebraska with us. And, we started travel hunting, and Alex had done a little before that, I think, and Kev had done some before that. Like they kind of did it the year prior with Latitude, and I had done some of my own out of state, but I hadn't gone like 12 hours from my house, like Nebraska, and just uprooted and went to somewhere I've never been before and just dropped in for a week and tried to figure it out. So it was insanely eye-opening, and just absolutely fell in love with it. There's that whole adventure side of I had loved bow hunting. I had loved going on my uncle's farm, hitting the public near my house, running around Ohio, driving down to Kentucky, whatever. But when you like up and leave 12 hours and you're just in the middle of nowhere in a campground, and the only thing you do from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night is try to figure out how to kill a buck, like
Yeah.
that's an awesome experience. And
Yeah.
you got no intel and you just got to rely on all your intuition and everything to figure it out. And that I fell in love with, big time. And we've done a lot of that over the last, 3, 4 years now of just running around different states and running around
Hmm.
together. It's been a lot of fun. But I think it's really, really shaped my outlook on hunting and what I try to get out of it now. And also really lit a fire for adventure and that side of the brand that, I think Alex has tried to instill and uh, fell in love with it there. So, yeah, I mean, background's marketing. My passion for sure is bow hunting,
Hmm.
so.
And I think too, like when you mentioned going that far out of state to bow hunt, like that's when you learn the most too, because you're not going for the weekend or after work or anything like that. Like you're going to hunt to kill a buck, to pick up on intel, to look for sign and figure out, okay, what's different about this area and how do I need to adapt to make it happen? And I know when we've gone to
Yeah.
Indiana and stuff, it's like those weeks that we're there, we pick up the most, we're more in tune with it, and
Oh yeah.
it's just a really good time. Just the whole like camp atmosphere, deer camp stuff is really cool too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't beat it.
You
Can't
can't.
beat it.
You really can't. Yeah. We the Grit series in our eyes has been such a success for you guys because I mean it's a high quality film and it is if you watch it and aren't having fun there's something wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because I mean your guys' catchphrase "We got 'em" is it's so good.
It's good.
It's so catchy, and
Yeah,
everybody's yeah.
that's I'm sure Al will have to get on here and tell that story one day, but
Yeah.
that stems all the way back from like fishing with his dad and stuff as a kid. Like that was kind of their thing and
Okay.
blind positivity no matter what, even when they weren't
Yeah.
catching fish, and I think it was something he didn't expect to like be a
Catch.
thing, but he was just kind of naturally saying it because that's what he did, what he believed, and it just kind of D-Rock feeds into it and it goes and
Yeah.
they're a riot together, man. But it yeah, I mean it's the same way on the trips, we get out there, it's a blast and yeah, I would agree it's one of those things like hard to measure. Like what is the
Yeah.
success of grit? Who
Mhm.
knows? But there's ways to do it. We try to figure it out the best we can. But at the end of the day, I think if anything, it shined a very positive light, in our opinion, hopefully
Yeah.
on the hunting experience, and like
Mhm.
kind of what I think a lot of hunting culture traditionally has just been about killing. And a lot of
Yeah.
people that aren't involved in hunting, that's how they see it. It's killing. And it's like we're trying to show a little bit of the other side to it. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, we all want to kill big bucks. Everybody
Mhm.
Right.
does,
Right.
but I also want to go run around for 5 days straight, and not sleep, for
Yeah.
more than 3 hours a night and be strained to the nines and, looking at Joey saying, dude, what the hell are we doing in this
Yeah.
swamp in the middle of the night?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like those are,
Yeah.
that's what I'm going to remember when I'm
Yeah.
older.
Yeah.
And I think that's the beauty of it, for sure. And so we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's good, and I think you guys do a good job of portraying the fun and the adventure part of it.
Yeah.
I think that is something that is lacking in a lot of stuff. It is all about killing a deer, and if you don't even kill a deer, it's like, yeah, just throw it out the window. But yeah, it does a good job.
Yeah.
If you're not into it, like I think of these, like I watch shows or whatever, and by the time it's over, your wife's like, we watched that whole thing and they didn't kill anything. But immediately I'm like, I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I mean, it was this concept of like, did you see what they went through? And yeah, and they still didn't kill anything. And guess what? They had the heck of a time.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's so hard to like put that experience in there, even when you're not killing. And they're still.
But it shows the whole trip. Not
Oh,
just
absolutely.
it's 6:30 in the morning. We just got set up, and then we killed the deer. It's just like that's almost every hunting video.
Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I would agree.
Yeah. I mean, it's also reality,
Right.
like every guy doesn't roll out of bed and shoot a 150 on their farm the next morning, 5 minutes into the hunt. Like I mean, I know my own experience. I get smoked most of the time.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how it is. And I think the guys have done a phenomenal job of figuring out a way to capture that.
Yeah.
D-Rex
Hmm.
specifically is very good at capturing
Yeah.
the behind the scenes, the feel. Like he does a good job, in my opinion, of making you feel like you're there.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
I think it's really cool. It's fun to watch it all come together. They do a really good job with it. Him and AB, Aaron Blasey's heavily involved. I mean, Alex is involved.
Hmm.
The whole team kind of has a little say in it at some point, but
Yeah.
D-Rock drives that train,
Yeah.
and he does a great job with it.
I would hate to see how many memory cards or terabytes he carries, because like it seems like he captures everything. Throughout the grit series, he's filming in the morning, as they get up, as they go to bed, the hunt, the driving, everything. It's like that camera's always on, which is
Oh yeah,
what makes the film so great too.
Right. Yeah. We know Joey P. So we've seen what he carries around and
Yeah.
whatnot, and we're like, yeah, you're crazy. But yeah, you got to capture it. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean it's a burden, no doubt,
Yeah.
but that's the beauty of it.
Mhm.
And they do a great job. I mean it's a lot. It's not a lot of sleep, not a lot of reward. And but at the end of the day, I think, Derek, especially putting it together,
Yeah.
like he knows when he's out there, like, hey man, if I don't get this, we're not gonna have it.
Yeah.
The edit. And so
Yeah.
I'm gonna wake up before Alex wakes up every day and turn that camera on and, film him make a little peanut butter sandwich in the morning and call it a day.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a good time, man. It's the beauty of the job for sure. Getting to do that aspect. That I think that's why we all do it. So
Yeah.
Okay.
Very cool. Well,
let's talk some products
yeah.
for sure.
You guys dropped a couple products at ATA. You want to go over, kind of list what you guys dropped and came out with, and then we can, break it down a little bit from there individually then?
yeah, for sure, for
Yeah.
sure. You want to start with the sticks?
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
that's
Just start with the sticks. Yeah.
yeah. So the new sticks are the Carbon Synergy climbing sticks, and we talked about this a few times at ATA, but they originally were the tree sticks. So the tree sticks brand came out of Michigan. Jamie designed those, and Jamie is basically an engineering background to himself. He's works on some phenomenal projects, and he built the tree sticks because he believed he was building the best climbing stick for himself. And
Mm-hmm.
turned it into a business, and we saw that. We watched them. We got feedback from people that absolutely loved them. He's another Michigan guy, not too far from Grand Rapids, where Latitude's based out of. And um, actually, believe it or not, Jamie's first prototype that he brought to ATA several years ago was a 3D printed version. He gave me and Kevin Leach, the CEO of Latitude, a demonstration of it without having any idea that we worked for Latitude. And then like came over to our booth, ran into us later, and put it all together, and we were laughing pretty good about it. And then 3 years later, here we are.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a phenomenal stick, and we kept hearing things about it, and we're playing around with a lot of the same materials. Our guys are designing stuff constantly. I mean,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they, like I think one thing a lot of people that maybe have never been involved with product development, we've designed a lot of really light climbing sticks and really nice climbing sticks, and I'm sure a lot of other companies have too. But there's a balance of figuring out how to build the lightest, best climbing stick and bring it to market and make it affordable. And that's the challenge. Like, can you
Mhm.
manufacture a climbing stick that is ultra light, gives you comfort, and it's not $700 to get to that,
Yeah.
13-ounce range? And
Mhm.
that's a challenge. And Jamie did a good job. He got it there. And we noticed that at the same time, there's, a few things our guys wanted to play with and tweak with it. And fortunately, we were able to work with Jamie and come to an agreement to basically acquire tree sticks and bring that in-house. And it was the right time for him. It had grown to a size that, he kind of wanted to move on to some other things. And we were in the right place to bring it in. And it was kind of like, hey, we don't need to beat this stick anymore. Let's just make it part of the line. It's
Mhm.
Yeah.
great, and adjust some little things. So we did that. The guys adopted, a new attachment method for it. So it's going to have that quick, single hand use attachment method that it's different from our existing climbing sticks, but it's a similar concept. You still got that
Okay.
UHW PE rope, comes attached, am steel like equivalent. You get the rope storage, and you get basically the clip that you can wrap around the Versa button, tuck the rope away, and it's fast, it's nice. Apologize, I'm still
Nope.
still sitting on the ATA there.
You're good.
Um, but yeah, it turned out great. They shortened them a little bit. Got the weight down a little bit. I mean, they're coming at 14.9 ounces. So to my knowledge, it's the lightest climbing stick in the market.
Mm-hmm.
They connect together. They added a turnkey silencing system out of the box. So everywhere the sticks had made contact before, when you connect them, they now have a material that is going to come on the stick to prevent any noise from those contact points. So
Mm-hmm.
you can still stealth strip them. We'll probably have a stealth strip kit made, with
Right.
Uncle Lou to pre-cut to the size of the stick if you want to add it to other areas, but you're not going to have to do that for the connection points out of the box. They work with our aiders. We did remove the integrated aider, which for a lot of people that had experience with the tree sticks are a little upset about and understand that completely. We just found it's a hard thing to answer. Like how many sticks do you make with an aider and how many sticks do you make without an
Right.
aider? Some people don't want them, and
Right.
some people do, and some people don't trust aiders. They don't like to
Mm-hmm.
climb with aiders, and
Mm-hmm.
so we couldn't make every stick with an aider, and the manufacturing process gets extremely complicated when you add a aider inside of it. And you're going to jack the price up, and it makes everything more difficult. For our aiders that we sell right now, work with them perfectly, and the new attachment method still allows you to store the aider, easily. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
that was the best solution we found there. They turned out awesome. I think cutting the length down just a little bit off of what he had, I think is very appropriate. They seem to pack better in my opinion. Um, and I'm just excited about them. They got bigger standoff than our existing sticks. They're going to climb a lot more like a ladder, so you can actually wrap your hands up around these and you get that real comfortable feel because you're a little further off the tree. You got more foot room. The material, is what stemmed the name. So Synergy, comes from combining basically two carbon technologies. You got a long fiber carbon fiber post in line with a short fiber molded carbon fiber step and standoff. And so you combine those two, and what that allows you to do, instead of making the whole stick molded carbon fiber or all laid carbon fiber, you're able to combine those two and reach that ultralight spec, manufacture it at scale, and you get the lightest climbing stick on the market.
Mm-hmm.
So that was the beauty of it. We're super excited for them. I mean, I think the guys have done a good job. I think they visually look great, and I'm just excited to hunt with them more. We got to run them last fall. We've played. They were the original tree sticks. We made
Right.
our own mods and got to run some of those, and it's going to be cool. So that's a big one for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. Get
Yeah.
my hands on them at the Mobile Hunter Expo. Check them out a little bit.
Yeah, Matt was pretty pumped about it as well.
Yeah.
And he had brought up just kind of hearing the whispers of people being a little bit upset about the aider not being integrated, but I mean, it makes total sense. I'd be willing to bet that there's probably more people that don't use aiders than use aiders. So it only makes sense that,
Yeah.
if you want one, just attach it the same way you've probably been doing with other sticks,
And at the same time, as light as these are, if you just carry an extra stick, it's not like in the old days when, we were using full length
Yeah.
32-inch sticks, and it's like, man, these are heavy and bulky
Yeah.
and noisy. Like, we need an aider and we can carry less sticks.
Yeah.
I mean,
at under 15 ounces, just carry another stick.
yeah. I mean, unless you're going 6 miles deep or
Right,
something,
right.
but, for the most part,
I get it.
yeah. No, that's cool. So,
Packs.
packs.
Yeah.
The frame pack, the Whitetail frame pack. I'm excited about that too.
Yeah, that's probably like one of the things we're the most excited about.
Yeah, that one fits you guys. Like your
Yeah.
Indiana trip,
Yeah.
like all running around down there in hill country, like that's where that thing's gonna thrive.
Yeah.
The frame pack was a tough one. We talked about it for literally years. So it, there's always been frame packs around in the whitetail space, but there's never been truly in our opinion, appropriately designed whitetail specific frame pack.
Right.
And
Mhm.
so you think COVID happens, this whole mobile hunting boom happens, and there's always been guys hunting public land. There's always been guys running around, but now you introduce the COVID boom, you introduce the hunting public, this whole craze around public land, going further, Dan and Fault, the whole nine. And we start seeing a lot of guys are going back to areas they've never been. They're going with gear they've never been. You know, they got Onyx and Spartan Forge now. They're using maps. They're not getting lost anymore, and they're figuring it out. They're finding public land by their house that they never hunted before. They're getting permission on a lot bigger pieces of private, and they're hunting up over a ridge that they're no longer able to get their deer cart or drive their ATV back and pull a deer out like they've always done on their back 40, you know, behind their house. And so removing your deer, while it hasn't changed, the volume of people killing decent deer in places they are no longer able to retrieve them has vastly changed. And I think, you know, we've watched that movement unfold. And so, you know, if you were like myself, and I'm sure you guys are the same, you probably have a Western frame pack. And I'm sure on those trips it finds the way in your truck bed and go in and you're hunting with the boys and you guys shoot something and you walk out of the woods and you go back to camp, you hang out, you grab your frame pack out of the truck, you walk back in, make another trip, you start packing it up, you split it up between your buddies and you pack it out. The whole goal of this pack was to give you that ability to carry gear much better than you've ever been able to carry it before, but also have the ability to pack your deer out without having to leave the woods. So you now are able to carry a frame pack as your everyday hunting pack without the weight burdens and the bulk that a traditional Western frame pack that is built for a way bigger animal than a whitetail deer would bring with you in the woods. So it was a very difficult task to achieve, though, because if you dive into Western frame packs and you start looking, they are built for large game. They're built for elk. They're built for multi-day hunting. A lot of them that are day packs, you know, you get into a 7-8 pound pack. It's designed to carry a, you know, 100 pound quarter of some kind and all your gear, you know, 10 miles out of the woods, out of the mountains. And you don't need that whitetail hunting. And so trying to figure out a frame that gives you enough strength to pack a deer out, but doesn't come with that weight burden and isn't too bulky was kind of the goal. And the guys did that. They combined a few technologies. So you got aluminum vertical supports. You got 70-75 aluminum going up. You got carbon fiber cross supports, and it's inside a compressed nylon that allows it to function as one unit. Still provides a little bit of flexibility, but it's ultra light. And so that frame weighs just 2.5 pounds. And to give you perspective, a lot of the other frames in our space and launched by competitive brands are over 5.
Yeah.
So the guys crushed it. I mean, we were thrilled with it. So it's 22 inches in total length, which is going to give it just enough height to get up over your shoulders to allow you to use load lifters to alleviate weight, but it's not sticking up high enough that it's way too bulky and getting caught on things as you're trying to walk through the woods. So it turned out awesome. It's the type of product I personally have been very like excited for, to be honest. It fits my style of hunting. You know, I hunt the hills in Ohio a lot of time in hill country, and I'm not always on a trip with my buddies, you know, where sometimes I'm by myself and I'm going to need to pack this thing out and I need a front pack. And that's the beauty of it. It's got a lot of neat features. It's going to come with a 27-liter bag, which, you know, we got a Ranger 22 and Ranger 33. You're right in the middle of that. That bag's got, you know, side pockets, Nalgene pockets. It's got internal storage zippers. It's got the ability to carry a water bladder. It's very nice material that, you know, like you can essentially just spray it down with a hose when you get done if it is covered in like mud and blood to kind of clean it off. There's a whole new thing going on called our torque straps that are integrated into the frame of the pack. And so those are the rubber strap that comes through the frame. And those will come with the pack, and you can use those, you know, to secure your quarters and leave them behind the bag or secure anything you'd like to the frame. But you can also wrap them around the face of the bag. You know, if you want to slap your sticks on the front, they're a quick little rubber strap. Slap those sticks down, and it's speed. It's speed and simplicity, and it's quiet because it's rubber. It's like a silicone, so it's a whole new concept for attaching gear to a bag, but you know, the beauty of a frame, even if you're not using it to pack out meat, which is the first thing everybody goes to when you think of a frame pack, you know, the beauty of a frame is it allows you to carry gear. It allows you to carry weight appropriately. You now have control of that weight on your back, which you've never had before with any traditional hunting pack, you know. So any pack you used to buy at Bass Pro, you know, as a kid, you take out and slap your sticks and platform on, that bag doesn't have support. So you're attaching all this heavy gear to the face of a bag that is essentially just, like material, and it's just hanging back, working against you.
Yeah.
Now you have this frame, that gear, the heaviest part of your load, secured to that frame. That frame is now, you have control of that. You have a hip belt on that you can adjust on your height of your hips, where you want that weight to land. And you have load lifters that allows you to alleviate that weight whenever you need to. And so it's going to feel like you're carrying a lot less than you are because you have control of the weight for the first time. And that was kind of the beauty of the whole bag, that concept in itself. And we went back and forth on that for a long time of like, do whitetail hunters really need a frame pack? And it's like, well, whitetail guys are carrying a lot more gear than they ever carried in the woods, now that well, I shouldn't say more, because climber guys have been carrying a lot of gear for a while, but that everyday guy that's not running a mobile setup has a frame that he can attach a lightweight tree stand to. He can attach his saddle platform and sticks to. He can attach, whatever the hell you want to bring back into the woods, a little ground blind, whatever. But you got that frame now. And so it was a big project. It took the guys a lot of iterations. I mean, I literally think I've seen 9 of them, 9 different versions of this that actually got made, and we used in some way, shape, or form. Alex shot a phenomenal buck up in North Michigan with maybe the final sample, or one of the latest samples. Packed that thing out on grit. It's just an unbelievable hunt. Went into a freaking public swamp in a pouring rain and shot a just absolute stud and packed the thing out through the water.
Yeah.
I packed my Missouri buck out with one. Matt packed his Texas buck out with one. Jake ran it all year up in Michigan. It got put through the pace, and to us, it's the most versatile mobile hunting pack ever made. So, I don't know. I think if I'm on the outside looking in, in my head, like, the first question on the marketing end, the answer is like, do I need a frame pack to whitetail hunt? And I think that question gets answered by like, this is designed to carry your gear better than any bag's ever been designed to carry your gear. It just gives you the added ability to pack a deer out if you need to.
Right.
So that's the beauty of that one.
Even guys with like self-filming and stuff, that extra weight there, something like this would be a total game changer, because most bags aren't that supportive. Even if they have like a plastic shelf there in the back or something to kind of bear some weight, but nothing like a frame pack.
A whitetail frame pack has really been like the one missing link in my opinion, because I mean, I've even kicked around getting like the smallest Western frame pack that I could get to use it for everything we're doing, because from doing the Western stuff with some Western style packs, it's like, if you could have one of these, just shrunk down to be a whitetail specific mobile hunting, all your, your platform, your sticks and all this, it would be perfect. So this is something that we're really looking forward to, because I think it really has its spot.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the concept of having the right pack, I don't think I realized. I just started mobile hunting, so I don't call it mobile hunting. You still go 50 yards into the woods, but you put a saddle up because it feels cool. But it's one of those that I underestimated the pack. And you mentioned the whole Bass Pro situation. I'm in that similar boat that I've had this pack. I've got, clips, some draws on the back, but when you're really thinking about it, I've got all this weight all the way at the back end of that pack.
Yep.
And it's
working against you
the entire time. And it was one of those, I think the first time I went with you this year, I mean, you got the Ranger 22 loaded down with everything, but I'm like, it looks comfortable. And I threw it on, and it was like, oh, this isn't bad. Like, it looks like you've got way too much stuff in the pack, but if it's done correctly, and that's obviously not the frame pack, but just having the right equipment for the job is a game changer.
Yeah, because I had all my camera gear. I had my big camera, my small camera, and
sticks, platform, everything.
Yeah, I had that pack absolutely loaded down. Yeah, and it is to this point, the comfiest pack I ever had on. So yeah, when I saw your backpack, I'm like, you need to put this one on. Yeah, because having a pack that's dedicated to it is a whole nother game.
Yeah.
Well, and then this will take it that next level of comfort, I think, from
100%
support. So it's awesome.
Yeah, we packed one. I shot a buck in Indiana, and I think it was right in that 2.5 mile range, and we went back and cut it up, and I carried it out with one of my bigger packs. But it's like, yeah, dude, if I would have had a pack, we could have just done it right then and there. That would have been so much easier. And I like cutting them up back there and bringing it back to camp already cut up, because then you get to camp and you don't have to cut it up at camp.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you get to get back to camp and everything's done, and you're just putting it in cooler, and then we're pumped for that one for sure.
Yeah, it fits the. It's funny when you said when you went to Indiana, because when you're hunting around your house and you got 5 buddies nearby that if you shoot one, you probably get a call, and or your neighbor might have an ATV and give you access because you've known them for 10 years, and you can it's different when you're out of state. That's where that bag's going to thrive on travel trips. It'll thrive in state if you're running around a bunch of different areas, but it might not be what you need on your day-to-day hunt if you're hunting behind your house. If you're walking 50 years in the woods, it might not be that pack, and that's okay. I think that's the beauty of having a lot of packs. And you guys know how this is. No matter how many features a backpack has, it's never going to be the perfect backpack. There's just a backpack. And if you guys are like myself, you probably got 10 of them laying in your basement and still don't know what backpack you like the best. So I think it's a tool like anything that's got a specific purpose. And I think the people that, admire that style of hunting are going to love it. I think it's the most well thought out. It is. I've looked at all of them at this point. It is the most well thought out hunting backpack ever made. It's got. The features are unbelievable. There's some things we didn't even get into at ATA, but there's a thing on the front that Matt and Jake have designed that basically, if you even the Ranger 22, you think about it, you put your sticks on the face of it. You got your straps that come from the sides. They got a buckle. Buckle that down. You cinch that thing down. That buckle hits your sticks. Boom. And it's like, all right, now you got to go one way or the other. It's like I got to shift this buckle left or shift this buckle right. Well, then my load gets a little uneven. And what you're doing is there's some packs that want the single point attachments where you come from one side and you strap down on the side and you cinch that gear down to avoid that situation. But then you get guys that like to take their gear from one side to the other, and now they're stuck going one way or the other that they may not like. And they invented a thing we call the dog bones that, it's a material that keeps your straps. So what I mean by that is, when you have a traditional buckle and that excess strap rolls out and you got to roll it up, as a strap keeper, this is all like an integrated loop so that as you cinch this down, it just pulls into itself, and that material is silent. So wherever it lands, it conforms to what's around, and you can just suck it down on top of your sticks without having to balance it one way or the other or deal with this plastic buckle smacking into your sticks. And there's just a lot of little stuff that, I think is the gear junkie's going to find the beauty in it, and it's pretty dang sweet. So
Yep.
And one thing we kind of ran into what you were describing, you have your sticks vertical on your back and your gear strap hits that. We got the profile pack.
We all got the profile pockets for
the pocket, and then you can put your platform in there. And then we've been running our sticks horizontal down at the bottom and folding it up, and that works phenomenal too for like the Ranger 22 that we've been running.
Yeah,
so
the sticks are just not too long. They're about as wide as your body, so it's nice that they're not too long to where you're catching things as you're walking through, not remembering that you have something sticking out the sides. Yeah, they're almost perfectly
same width as what you are pretty much going through the woods
when you lay them vertical or horizontal like that.
Right.
Yeah, but this new system sounds pretty sweet.
Yeah, we're excited to check it out and see what it's like.
Might just have to shoot something in Indiana just to pack something out.
Yeah, dude. I'll fill a doe tag. Yeah, for sure. I would bet. Yeah, Matt's gonna be all over it.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a backpack guy too, so like
I am too.
this fits the bill, I think.
Yeah. I got a couple totes of backpacks.
Yeah.
Yeah. The dough point, that was actually one of my original like thoughts with it was the amount of times I have gone way too far back on a piece of public,
Yeah.
thinking that some buck I'm chasing is at the farthest point I will ever imagine. I get back there and only see does, and I have a doe tag and I want to shoot a doe, but I pass that doe because I know it's going to be hell on my life to get
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
thing out of there.
Yeah.
And I don't want to have to walk another mile and a half back to the truck, get my frame pack, and come
Right.
back out, do the whole nine, and get home at 1 in the morning. If I have the frame pack, I'll shoot the doe,
Yeah.
because I can debone a doe and slap, 50 pounds of meat in this bag and roll, and it's not that big of a deal. And I don't know, it just kind of changed my outlook on in-state doe hunting when I'm hunting public or hunting, somewhere that I'm way too far from my truck. But
That's definitely been the case. I think a few times is you always hear a guy say, I probably would have shot it, but I was too far. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how I would have got it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is hopefully going to solve that issue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool. Well, what is your most favorite piece that Latitude has?
well, the other new one I think is it's an awesome product. So the other pack is the flyer pack. We used to call it the jet pack when we were like prototyping it because it was just like it's a brainchild of Alex that he likes to fly around. He wants to go all over, and we ended up calling it the jetpack for years, and it was like this like that's what everybody referred to it as because it made you feel fast, and it's light, it's small, it's simple, but I think there's a crave in our space right now for like a system. Like a lot of guys, they're pulling all these pieces from all these different companies, and you got all this shit that makes up your saddle system, and it's like I need rhyme or reason for how all this stuff packs up in my bag because I guarantee you all four of us could pack up a range of 22 and we're all going to do it differently.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it too. But the flyer pack came about as a streamlined, simple solution for the guy who wants a purpose-built pack for the saddle hunter. And so again, it has a frame, but that frame's not big enough or designed to pack your deer out, but it's got a frame, same material. It's got 70-75 aluminum, carbon fiber cross supports, and but it doesn't have a hip belt. It's much smaller. The foam is lighter. It's designed to be as light as possible, and so it has a panel that that folds down. You got the frame. You slap your platform on. You fold the panel up, and you got your front pockets, and you got those same torque straps that slap your sticks right down to it.
Mm-hmm.
So there's not a lot to it. It's very streamlined. It's simple. The beauty of it is in the customization. So that front panel is a MOLLE panel. So you can take the flyer pouches off of it that come with it and put any type of MOLLE pouch you would like on the face of that thing. But again, those torque straps go through that frame, so it's going to carry phenomenal. Your platform is now, instead of as far as possible from your back, hanging on the face of your pack, it's now the closest item. The heaviest item is now the closest part to your back.
Mm-hmm.
And what that does, if you just think physics, like that's going to carry the weight a lot better. And it gives you more control of it. And then your sticks now are on the outside of the pack while they're still attached to the frame through the torque straps. They are the first thing you're going to take off when you get to the tree, and so they are the first thing on top. And you pop them off, you pop the straps off, you can climb the tree, pull your platform out, and hang it. And so it is the simplified version. It's the fast version. And, for me, I struggle with the messaging behind it a little bit in that, a lot of guys go to early season, like, oh, that's the early season pack because it's small. Like, I mean, we've been hunting with this thing for 2 years. Like, you can hunker your layers down there. I mean, you got a frame in there, and you got these big Titan or torch straps so you can just suck down. And there's a lot of there's a lot of beauty in that. But I think there's a lot of guys that crave that simplicity and they want to know where their platform goes when they pack their bag up. They want to know where their sticks are going. They want to
Mm-hmm.
know, where their release is every time because the pouch is, in the same spot. And it has a beauty to it. If you're not self-filming too, it's simple. But it's called the flyer pack because it allows you to fly around. You can get in, get out quick with it. You detach and hang your set fast. Um, but it's kind of like that flying concept allows you to cover a lot of ground or go in really far because you're carrying a lot less. At the same time, it's also a really nice pack to just have in your truck and pop 50 yards out in the woods because you don't have to carry a lot of crap. So
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
it's a weird blended message that allows you to go really far from the truck, but it also allows you to really have a simple system if you want to stay right by the truck. Or heck, I mean, a lot of guys that have a private farm and still want a saddle set up, because they got their presets and usually I hunt this spot, but I've been seeing this buck walk 400 yards up that ridge and I want to go hang and bang.
Mm-hmm.
Run back to the truck. You got this already packed up. You throw it on your back. You go. You're out there in the afternoon. You're not thinking about where everything is. It's very simple and fast, and that's the beauty of it. So it's gonna be interesting. I mean, I honestly just getting them in everybody's hands. I'm excited about that and get feedback, see how they're used, because I guarantee there's gonna be a lot of concepts. We've ran them through the ringer, but there's gonna be stuff we're not thinking of that
Mm-hmm.
guys find the beauty in it. And so it's gonna be interesting. I guess to answer the question, is that my favorite? I think I'm partial to it because it's got a lot of good memories in it. I
Mm-hmm.
shot the biggest buck of my life with that. We got that. Um, we were out in Nebraska 2 years ago now, and Matt UPS'd us one to a random farmhouse in the middle of nowhere. And we went out. This UPS truck pulls up this dirt road where you can't see, a single house for as far as you can see because all you
Yeah.
see is windmills and
Mm-hmm.
this random box shows up and we cut it open and there's these bags in there with these little pockets that says jetpack, and we're like, oh, this is sweet, and ran that, for a year or two and loved it. So I like that a lot. I think my I think my favorite's gonna be the Praxis pack though. I just
Mm-hmm.
been an Ohio guy and
Yeah.
in Hill Country. I want a whitetail frame pack. So
Yeah. So I guess one side note here or question: how hard is it for you guys to be running this stuff for that's not yet released and still make a good film out of it? Because like your guys are wanting to do some R&D with it, and it's probably getting in some clips, but like you can't use that clip because it's not yet released, or you don't want the competition to see it. I mean, that's got to be a challenge in itself, right?
yeah, it is for sure. I mean, we use a lot of the stuff from running around for ads and whatnot. So like, if we're gonna make an ad out of it, we try to keep it out of it.
Mm-hmm.
The grid series runs on a year delay, so
Which
if
is
it
perfect. Yeah.
it is usually, I mean, this pack we had for 2 years. It was actually
Yeah.
in the grid series from 2 years ago, so it had been aired, and some people picked up on it, some didn't, and um, it it is a gamble, I guess, and it is difficult to show it but not show it. And I think fortunately D-Rock and Aaron doing a great job of that. But I think it's also like kind of the beauty of it though. It's like that's how we're making this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's like hell, let's go figure out if it works in some
Yeah.
random farm in Nebraska, way out in the middle of nowhere and run it for a week straight. How hard can we run this thing? And
Yeah.
what did you like? What didn't you like? And come back and tweak it and do it again. And um, so yeah, it is hard, but it's also cool, I think. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
There, it's also like it's a teaser for those people watching.
Well,
So
that's
you
true.
get to that point of like just briefly show little things that are just getting them excited. Like, oh, they're doing something new.
Yeah.
Like there was something in the background there that I knew that wasn't real, and then it gets launched. And you're like, that's awesome. Let's do it. I don't know. That's me when it comes to things when new in any way, shape, or form.
Mm-hmm.
It's those little teasers that they're launching, or once you launched it, and then you look back and you're like, oh, I did notice that,
Yeah.
and I didn't think twice about it. But yeah, it can go both ways. I think
Yeah.
it's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
So do you personally have any trips coming up in 26 that you're pumped about?
I did. My wife and I are having another baby in August, so
There we go.
that's gonna be a curveball. Yeah, I did. Yes. Still gonna figure that out. I want to get one good one in, at some point, and make sure we plan that far enough ahead of time that she can have all of the help she needs at home and
Yeah.
go out there and enjoy myself, because you guys know how that is. If things aren't right at home and you go 10 hours away to hunt, it just weighs on you the whole time. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to figure that out. I'd like to go west. I like going west. I love hunting out west. Anywhere I can get out there. I forgot to buy a point in Kansas last year, so probably not going back there for another year. But maybe Missouri again. I love that. We went there for the first time this year. If not, I'll be running around Ohio, try to get out to Indiana, hit as many local states as I can.
Yeah.
So we'll see. It's gonna be an interesting year there.
A little bit of a change for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, congrats there anyways.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah, no, of course. Very excited. So
Cool. Well,
Yeah, I don't know. That was pretty good. That hit all the stuff that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
I just want to hit one thing.
Go for it.
I just want to let you know this because, right before you launch these sticks, I may have bought the other sticks.
you couldn't have went wrong with it though.
Yeah. Well,
we're
dude, what's
talking-
wrong with 2 sets of sticks?
We're talking a week, guys. It was
I
within
know,
a week.
I know.
Okay? Somebody could have warned me.
You should have
It's
known
cool.
ATA was coming.
But here's
You
the
got to
thing.
wait.
Here's the thing. If this was a scenario where I really would have bought like a crap stick and then this got launched, then I'd be so mad. But like, I didn't. So
You have a
it's okay.
solid stick. Yeah.
I'm mad, but I'm not mad. It'll be fine. I love them. I've only used them once. I used them with you, Jarrett. But like, the fact of being able to carry them out there, I'm not somebody who likes to carry anything into the woods. And when it got to the point of I carried some non-named sticks prior to this that were Kevin's that were heavy. And it was like, I'm not going very far, but they bit into the tree. They had great standoff. It was awesome climbing the tree. But it was one of those, like, I'm not carrying these and clunking them around and hanging 3 on my waist while I'm climbing. And then I switched, and this was just a weekend ago, 2 weeks ago. And I went up that tree, and it was like, I barely knew they were there.
Yeah.
And I mean, it makes a world of difference. And I've tried out a few different things this year. And clearly I made the investment. So, and the platform's great. I know you didn't mention that because it's obviously not new, but like, I want the XL platform now. I
Do
don't
you
have,
think you could use a bigger platform?
I don't know.
I
Like,
think he would. I think he would enjoy the comfort
Just more
of a
room
bigger
of it?
platform.
yeah, like it doesn't bother me. Like it's been great. Like the platform itself's been fine. I just feel like there's times like I want to get just a little further from where the center is or something like that. But
Yeah.
it is nice. I've had several times where like you get in, you get down, you're like, oh, that'd be nice if it was a different angle. You step back down on the stick, flip it up, adjust it, and put it back down. And it's like, that's so convenient, super convenient. I've never had it move. I'm a person that also gets a little nervous when you're up that high, and I've never had it like shift or anything weird. So I don't know. I'm just excited for next year at this point because season's kind of over, and I got stuck with like trying to do this with all of my layers on.
Late season stuff, yeah.
Yeah, and that's not easy.
So
I
what you
can't
need-
stretch as far.
What you need to do now is get the lighter sticks, and you can sacrifice and get the bigger platform now.
There you go.
See?
There you go.
It's
All
fun
right.
for us to get some of our buddies into it
Oh yeah.
and be able to watch them make leaps where we would have took baby steps, because it took us so long to get into everything and figure everything out, and we're like jumping him ahead 10 steps, and it's like it's cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been good.
Yeah, you
That's
sure.
awesome. Well, we'll have to make it up to you on the sticks. I know a guy.
Okay. All right.
It was
That's
funny though. You were like
It was the week that
when
I'm
they
like,
at
there's-
ATA when you guys dropped him. Yeah, he instantly sent us a message. He's like, "Are you serious? I just bought the SS." We're like, "Hey, 2 sets of sticks is better than one.
Yeah.
Have to get the new ones."
Yeah.
I got a lot of opinions on that, man. it's a hard sell because I'm working for the gear company, but dude, you get to traveling, having two full setups in your truck.
Yeah.
There's a beauty in that, man. Like
Yeah.
if you keep a full setup, you're running that as your daily hunt. You go in, you find a hot spot, you like it. Wind's not gonna be right tomorrow. You leave the set, you dip. You got another set in the truck. You go hunt tomorrow. That maybe the wind's gonna be right the next day. You pop back in. That thing's already hung. And I carry three sets sometimes just because I'm not paying for them. But
Right, yeah.
it's
But
there's
for real,
there's a massive advantage of that.
Yeah.
Sure.
big time.
Especially in a short time window. If you're traveling trying to get something done fast, man,
Yeah.
like you know,
Yeah, you don't have a whole season to figure it out. You got a week. So if
Right.
you can take any advantage and you got hot sign,
Yeah.
even if you can save, we'll say 10 minutes to set up or 20 minutes to set up,
Oh, yeah.
leave it there. Jump in the next day when the wind's right, like you say.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Yeah.
The platform comment's funny to me too. Like I hear it all. Like I still see a lot of our customer service here, and there's always the assumption that usually if you've never done it, you need a bigger platform because for some reason it makes you subconsciously feel safer.
Sure.
You're not any safer one way or the other. But there's a comfort factor there that makes you more confident when you're in the tree. I think there's a benefit to that. But the the bigger platform, while it gets gravitated towards the bigger guy, isn't always, the case, in my opinion, on why you should use it. Like early season, a small platform, you're going to go in, you're hunting a trail that you may have scouted before. You got probably some type of food source that this deer is walking to from a bedding area. He's probably going to get up pretty late. You probably have a general idea of where he's laying down and where he's going and where you're going to shoot him. And you can get in, you can put your small platform in the tree, not make a lot of noise. It's easier to hang, and you can set yourself up with the perfect angle to take that shot that you're anticipating.
Mm-hmm.
In the rut, when you're in Indiana and you're hunting a ridge that you have no freaking idea where these deer are going to come from, you want a big platform because you're going to need to spin around because 9 times out of 10, that buck's going to come behind you, even though you thought it was going to come over here because you have no idea what the hell he's doing at night, and that, I don't know, it's just, I enjoy the bigger surface area when I have no idea what the deer are doing. If I think I know what the deer are doing, I want the smallest, easiest to hang thing that I'm not going to mess up. And that I've just, found different reasons for it, I guess. But
Yeah.
no,
that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
So you've noticed newer saddle hunters kind of tend to go towards a bigger platform. That's pretty common.
Yeah, for sure.
Gotcha.
I get it. And the older demographic, it's intimidating. You look at this little thing and it's like, man, I'm just going to stand on just that and I'm going to hang from this rope. And hell yeah, it's a hard pill to swallow. Yeah.
This is so fresh. Like it was real. Actually, okay.
I remember telling you to lean back, and you're like, I don't want to.
Well, it was right out back. If I wouldn't have done it, Kevin's got a telephone pull out back. If any listeners didn't know that, it's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I don't know how many guys we've had try saddle stuff though with that.
A lot.
So you only go, 2 feet off the ground to try this out, and I still hesitated. He's like, just sit back. I'm like, no. He's like, it will hold you. It's fine. And you still hesitate. I'm only like 1.5 feet off the ground, and it finally was like, oh, this is okay. And then, my next jump was go with Jarrett and go 35 feet in the air. And I'm glad it was dark out because by the time the light came out, you look down and you're like, oh.
We're up here.
We were higher than I thought we were.
But it's one of those that I think, in all reality, I've been in tree stands where either I've forgotten a harness back when I was younger. Like that doesn't happen now. But I've felt so uncomfortable that high that I'm like, I'm afraid to stand up. I'm afraid to pull back. Where I've gotten into this saddle hunting that I've never felt safer. And run your lineman rope, be safe about it going up the tree. And then when you get in, put your bridge on and
tether it up.
Yeah. And then undo it. And you're never disconnected.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, that I've actually felt safer even standing on a platform that's only 10 inches than being in, a Millennium hang on that I'm used to.
Yeah.
So.
It's the constant tension, so like when you're leaning in a saddle, you're tied to the tree with the same rope as you are when you're in your tree stand and it's attached to your harness,
Yep.
but you have tension at all times,
Mm-hmm.
where you then go sit in a tree stand after you've been sitting in a saddle and you lose that tension, you almost feel naked. And you're like,
Yeah.
Yep.
you get scared to stand up and you're still, as long as you're tied in, you're not going to fall. But that lack of tension that's when it buckles my knees when I get
Mm-hmm.
15, 20 feet up there,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good way to put it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd say we're good.
Yeah. If you got anything
You
else
got
you want to
anything else?
touch on?
Yeah, no, I'll just say thank you guys. I really appreciate you guys running the gear. Appreciate the whole born again bow hunting community and, adopting Latitude. And we don't take it lightly. I get when guys try to push brands and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like, if you're at home hearing it and you're like, hey, I'm spending my hard-earned money, like we don't take that lightly. And
Mm-hmm.
I hope you don't feel we're ever hard selling you to do that, and it's very appreciative, and we're hoping to just make the best stuff we possibly can for you to make sure you enjoy that little amount of time you get in the woods.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So at the Mobile Hunter Expo last year, we spent, I would say, a good chunk of time. We were right next to the Latitude booth actually, and we talked to D-Rock and DJ for a long time, and it was the everybody was so genuine, and that was the difference. Is even like when the show closed, like you can tell when people are giving you the spiel and when people are just honestly just trying to better what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, that was big for us. So that was a cool thing
Yeah,
to see.
for sure. Well,
That's
why
good
don't you let people know where they can find your content, Latitude content, and then where they can shop at? Then we'll wrap it up.
yeah, for sure. Latitude Outdoors, that's the website. The Grit series is on the Latitude Outdoors YouTube channel. We're hoping to get a lot more educational stuff up on the site this year and on the YouTube channel. We'll have all the product launch information on the site. If you want to get signed up for that, we'll have a form on there to get notified for the drop, all that. And we do have a retail guide on there too. If you want to go find any local retail shop near you, go try it out. Talk to our retail partners. Those guys are great. They're going to help you get it set up if you want to get it in your hands, feel it first, figure it out. That's on the site, and all this stuff will be launching over the summer. So only a few more months, and we're getting it all ready now, and I think it's going to be here before we know it. But again,
Yeah.
thank you guys.
Yep, thank you. Alrighty, remember, it doesn't matter what you have done in the past. You can always be born again, and born again is out.
Peace.